Welcome to Interworldwide. My name is Bruno, and what a game it was. I needed a couple of hours to digest that result and just let it simmer for a bit. But before we get into it, let's go to some of the comments that for you who have been patiently waiting. So, White Suburban Kid, La Grande Inter, 100%. 100%. Forza Inter. For those who want a full in-depth Champions League review, head to our Football Worldwide page. Link is right there. It's the starred comment. Head there, like and subscribe, and catch myself tonight giving an in-depth full Champions League review across the entire match day. Mighty Mouse, we could have won, but a draw is still a good result. Moving forward, we played with blood, sweat, and tears. And yes, for those who have been living under a rock, have had their head in the sand, it was a 3-3 draw. Inter at the Camp Nou. All those Barca fans saying we'll get destroyed at the Camp Nou, all in hiding now. Mighty Mouse in the chat, love your work. Marvel Lawson, already 1:30 a.m. here, but I don't care. I am too hyped to sleep. Mate, I would be too hyped to sleep too. That's why I struggle with those 1:30 a.m. games here in Sydney, because if we win and it finishes at 3:30, mate, I'm going till the next day. Honestly, I can't go to bed after those fixtures. Matty picks at halftime, being down 1-0. I expected this Inter to get demolished. Credit to Inzaghi hyping up this team and showing some fight in that second half. And Alan, where's Anthony? Well, Anthony's a teacher. He's at school. He's teaching. I'm working from home, so there's always time for a quick podcast here. Guys, what a game. And a couple of the comments alluded to where I was going straight off the bat. But first, I'd like to say thanks to our good old Ian Kerr at the Interclub Belfast. He provided me and Anthony with some custom bottles with our names, the Inter logo, the Inter Worldwide logo, and the Inter Belfast Club logo. So, always good. Wake up, Anthony, from the dream. And Mighty Mount, Anthony had an optimism epiphany, so he didn't show up. Look, he's still in disbelief. He's still in disbelief. And I said it on the match preview a couple of days ago. I'm quietly optimistic about this fixture. I just feel Barcelona had already won in their eyes. And it was something that you could see on the pitch. And look, going into halftime 1-0, I feel Inter should have had at least a goal there. Dzeko coming off the post. We created so many chances. And again, I mentioned this in the match preview. Inter are now creating chances. And that is what you want to see from this club. You create enough chances. We've got the strike force to put them away. And that's exactly what we did. But we went into halftime down 1-0. It was a 40th minute goal to Dembele. And it was a beautiful goal. Simple as that. But I don't know what was said in the sheds at halftime. And Matty Pickham, he mentioned it earlier. Credit to Inzaghi. Credit to this team. Because when you basically play well and you're down, the morale and your motivation and the drive can diminish. And Inter did not let that happen. Inter did not let any of that diminish. And it's one of those things where the drive was there. It looked like what we did under Antonio Conte when we won the league with 4 or 5 games to go. It was something that was beautifully and could not be scripted any better. Now, I'm going to throw it to the chat while we've got 20 of yous in here. Who was your man of the match? Because they've given it to Lewandowski for the 2 goals. But as an Inter fan, your man of the match, yeah, I agree, 2 goals for Lewandowski, fair enough. But who was your best player for Inter? Because I'm struggling to find one. I am absolutely struggling to find a man of the match because it was one of those things where the entire team played well collectively. We played like a team. Let me just adjust this camera a bit because this sexy drip here is just looking, beautiful. And I feel like I should get like a little marker and put an X on the Camp Nou where we got our win. But it was one of those fixtures where Inter just did not want to give up. Alan, thank you. Man of the match was given to Barella. I did see a article where they said that Lewandowski was. I didn't hang around to watch the game. So, the end of the game, that is. I was too busy off screaming, changing nappies, and celebrating. So, given to Barella. And look, he was probably our best player on the pitch, but it wasn't by far. This entire team played well collectively. Matty Picks, his man of the match was Mickey. Yeah, again, great performance there. Free transfer. Makes sense. Emiliano, welcome. But yeah, look, it was just beautiful to watch. And like Matty said earlier, being down 1-0 at halftime, it's easy to capitulate, especially when you had those chances to basically get the lead early on and you didn't. And catch those balls and get them into the back of the net, and then they get their shot on goal, and there you go, it's a goal. But then you go to the second half, and Inter came out firing. I saw Skriniar go down, and we'll talk more about him. And I'm like, oh, head injury, here we go. But he got straight back up. Bastoni, beautiful ball. Barella, left foot, bang, top of the net. So much was going wrong in that play for Barcelona, right? PK's watching Dzeko. The ball looks to his left. Martinez is there watching Dzeko. It's going over him. He's like, yeah, don't worry. Ter Stegen's got it. But Barella's there. He didn't know. Barella gets the ball, bang, into the back of the net. And then you saw that the Barcelona defense was rattled. It was one of those things where it was like, let's see how we go. And then, the Hakan pass to Martinez makes it 2-1. And then the substitutes just started coming. I did like the substitute taking off DiMarco for Damian, because Dumfries was playing so well this fixture, in my opinion. And that's when shit really hit the fan for Barcelona. They made a quick double sub, then they made another quick double sub, and then Gossen's in for Cholonohu, Belanova in for Dzeko. Then Lewan gets his goal, and it was one of those goals that you saw coming, but you never thought Inter would lose it. You never thought Inter would lose this fixture. You saw the goal coming just because of the sheer class of this Barcelona team. But you never actually thought to yourself, you know what? It's not gonna. We're not gonna lose this. I didn't think Barca Inter, and then that break, that Onana pass, and I'm not sure if Barcelona players know the rules, but he was nowhere near offside because the entire Barca team, had pressed so far up. They were halfway into Inter's half. And Nana looked up. He saw it. He pings that ball over the top straight to Martinez, who puts that beautiful square pass in for Gossens. And like you said, Matt, so happy for Gossens. Hopefully he shows this is similar to the Ericsson moment. And yeah, it was a great collaboration between them, and it was just beautiful to see that we still had someone else in the back end. Mighty Mouse there, agreeing with the Gossens. I will get to your comments soon. Inzaghi's still out. Emiliano, let's not forget to support Madrid on Sunday. Well, I can guarantee there are a couple of Real Madrid supporters in that game today wearing an Inter jersey. I promise you that. Just thinking if Inzaghi has to be suspended versus Pleasant, as he got a red card. Yes, he does. He will be suspended. Straight red. Don't know what he said. Great pass from Onana. Yes, it was such a beautiful pass. But I need to get to this next comment from Debbie. You've been spot on with your predictions all season. Kerr Mafia Pazza Inter again. Please return the song. But wow, we made Barca earn every goal. Not easy run for them. Outstanding watch. But you're predicting Barca to win, and I was happy. Look, we did not make it easy for Barcelona. We definitely did not. And we honestly should have come away with 3 points. And I think it was Julio Cesar said after the game, you're winning with 9 minutes to go. A draw should not be the result. A draw should not be the result. Sorry, my throat is burning because I've been screaming after every goal. And a draw should not be the result. You shouldn't be happy with the draw. Us as Inter fans have come to accept the draw. 4 points in a possible 6 against Barcelona. I would have taken that any day of the week. But he is right. We shouldn't have conceded that third goal. But Belanova should have passed that ball and put a fourth one. In and made it 4-3. But what? And Onana showed more leadership in one game than Honda in hundreds. I disagree. Emiliano asked for Martinez and Barella to show up, and they did big time. Look, Emiliano, whatever you're doing, can you get in there and ask for more? Because it seems to be working. Uncle Sharma, good to see you in the chat. Loved your stream. You just did. How many beers down are you, Debbie? Look, if it wasn't a Thursday and currently 10:40 a.m. here in Sydney, I would be a couple of sambucas down. I promise you that. Great performance by the whole squad. Winning at the Sun City makes this draw so much sweeter. Lautaro ending his goal drought against Barca. It had to happen. It had to happen. I think Anthony called it. It had to happen in this game. But we made... Am I happy with the result? Yes. But we made some silly mistakes. And the Bellanova shot on goal, I think it was 91, 92 minutes in. Cross it. I know you're dying for a Champions League goal, but it's against Barcelona. 3 points would have sent you Barcelona straight to the Europa and potentially the Europa. You don't know what Victoria Pleasant can do. They could beat Barcelona. And if Bayern beat Barcelona, interesting. So, what's that mean for Inter and our chances of qualification into the round of 16? We're currently Bayern's first, 12 points out of a possible 12. We are second with 7 points. Aslani. Thank you, Huyan. Great to see you on it. Aslani should have passed it. But yeah, let's keep going through the chat. Latara and then yes, Debbie Kerr, 5B is still served by boys, but if we'd won, I'd be blitzed. I'm thinking I would have called in sick. It was a great Hoyan Aslani, the one that didn't pass. Yes, I know. As soon as Lautaro scored, you could tell the team did a 180. Yes, Alex, Mighty Mouse still need to beat Victoria. No, I'm getting into this. So, Bayern on top on 12. They're through. Inter second on 7. Barca on 3. Victoria on 0. Now, if Barcelona lose to Bayern Munich, it does not matter about the Victoria game. We can lose and still qualify because the gap will only be 3 points and they can't overtake us on head-to-head. If Barcelona draw with Bayern, we need to draw. Whatever result Barca do, we need to match or do better. And we're through. I've seen stranger things happen. Currently $31 for Inter not to get out of the group. I've seen stranger things happen. Look, Inter get the 3 points. It's game over for Barcelona. It is into the round of 16 for Inter. But if Bayern beat Barca, we are through. Doesn't matter what the Victoria result is. Is that the case? I thought our next game was. Look, I had all my stats ready. I'm just checking. So we have Salernitana on Sunday Sydney time, the early coffee fixture. Fiorentina following Sunday. Then we have Victoria Pleasant. So Lautaro and Barella, amazing stepping up. I disagree. The entire team stepped up. Inter versus Pleasant kicks off earlier this match day. Yes, it does. But at the same time, Barca could be going into that game knowing they're already out. Barca could be going into that game thinking they've got hope. So we'll see there. Inter plays first and then Barca Bayern. Yes. Gossen's form return incoming 100%. Let's not forget that we still have to play for the league and the game against Salerno is very important. I like that we don't have Champions League next week. We've got Salerno, week off, Fiorentina. So we actually have a week break, which is fantastic. And I do believe there is potentially some Coppa Italia fixtures in there for the lower teams. Now, Matty picks. We got 2 weeks. Salerno, Lukaku will be back to stat pad. We will cover that Thought the players were heroic today, but I really think Inzaghi needs to stop making 5 subs and changing tactics. We were up 2-1, then he changed the formation. Look, you can't question his moves now. It's all good in hindsight. I do feel he was trying to protect the lead, but he didn't do it. He caused too much confusion with the 2 wingers on each side. He could have avoided 2-1 eventually, would have had a chance for 3-1. Yeah, look, against any other team, I would agree. Against Barcelona, you really got to try and squeeze them. And even if that means injecting some fresh legs into the team so that you can chase their defenders, because you got to remember the substitutes that Barcelona did make were substitutions to they were substitutions to speed up the game. You know, Ferran Torres coming on, Kese, Alex Balde, Frankie de Jong, Ansu Fati. These are all players for their pace. These were all players for their finesse and getting up the field. Matty Peaks commenting on Diego Milito, loved your work in 09-10. Yes, we did. We definitely did. But as I was saying, so if we get the same result as Bayern Munich, Barcelona, we're qualified. Now, we do play the earlier fixture. I don't want to say I'm not going to get up, because I most probably will be getting up, but it's going to be tight because Victoria, Pleasant basically need results. Now, they might be happy going away with nothing, but they do need results. And they do sniff a chance of Europa League if it comes. So Bellanova needs more minutes. Yes, we're still waiting for Lukaku's return. Hope Lukaku to do well versus Salernitana, Fiorentina, and the King versus Pleasant. Yes, can't believe it. What a game. We're so close now. Tim, I had a different title for this. I had a different title for this game, this stream, but I had to change it. I didn't want to jinx it. Can't watch live now, stuck at work, but I'm still buzzing down from that second half. All the fresh legs. My point is no need to change the actual formation. After the changes, we lost shape and organization. No, look, I'm saying the fresh legs that Barcelona injected, they changed their formation. And Inzaghi, not changed their format. Well, on paper, they didn't. But on the pitch, you could see it was basically 3 at the back and then the rest of the team in Inter's box, essentially. So he was trying to counter that. He was trying to provide that. And look, yeah, I agree. We should have won that, but at the same time, you really saw an impending Barcelona goal coming. What was the formation the last 5 minutes? 3-5-1 or something. Right there were 3 wingers on Bellanova, Dumfries, and Gossens, and you had Damian on the pitch as well. But again, Gossens, he's a winger, but he was playing in Dzeko's position, I believe, up front. That's how he snagged his first goal there. Dumfries was doing his thing, and Bellanova, I think, was more of a... who did he come on from? I think he was for Hakan. I think Bellanova came in for Hakan because, you had Aslani for Barella and Acerbi came in for Bastoni. So, look, it was confusing. But, these comments. Bellanova looked sharp when he came on. Couple of great dribbles. But you could tell he and Aslani were super nervous with some of their decision making. Look, it's a lot of these boys' first time in the Champions League. And it's a lot of time these boys' first time playing competition against Barcelona. You got to think, of course you'd be nervous. I'd be changing my Montante, my undies before I get on, and then I'd ask for a sub so I can change them again. What do you think of our chances of going through? Between you and me, Mighty Mouse, I think we're through. I really do. We should have wrapped it up today. We should have qualified today, but I don't want to jinx it, but I think we're there. You may not see Lukaku until Fiorentina or Pleasant. Yes, Ram, it looked. Okay. Speaking of Damian, that foul on him by Dembele should have been a red. Yeah. Um, I think that's karma. Let's just say that's karma. It's Inter's karma for the Dumfries handball. It's Inter's karma for the Dumfries handball. We should have gotten the red, but guess what? Barcelona, we still got you in the end. Dembele's red card challenge on Damia Wadzavi. He doesn't have anything to say. His team, they played horrible defensively. Horrible. And I am always optimistic, except for when I'm not. Okay. Yeah. Look, his team played horrible. But let's go back to this Inter team. What did I like? I liked that we were a team. We didn't play for individual brilliance this game, except for Aslani in the 92nd minute. We did not play for individual brilliance this game. We played as a collective unit. I said this last time round in the preview. We are creating chances. And when you create chances, your striker's job is so much easier. They don't need to pluck something out of thin air. And we continued to create these chances today. And that's what got us there. That's what got us the 3-3 draw. Right? We continued to create chances. Now, Onana would have put Handanovic would have played it from the back and held the ball up. Onana saw, oh, look at this. 1, 2, 3 Barcelona sitting ducks in their last line of defense inside Inter's half. I'm going to ping this ball over the top and see if Lautaro can work some magic. And what happened is Lautaro got the chance, crossed it in, and Gossens put it away. This team is playing. Our defense is playing well. And I put that down to two things. The armband on Skriniar's arm, because he is a leader. And the fact that our defense doesn't need to second guess who's behind them in goals. Because you could tell these defenders have the complete faith in Onana so they can focus on their game rather than worrying about stuffing up and scared they're going to concede. Because I can guarantee you, Inter might have scored 3. They wouldn't have scored 3 if Honda was there. And they would have conceded 6, potentially. And I am grateful that Inzaghi is, learning. And this team, I feel like I've just logged onto my FIFA and I'm doing a squad draft, a foot draft. And I get that player and the chemistry just goes to 100. Because that's what I saw today. I saw 100 chemistry from this squad. Everyone knew what they were doing. Each player played their part to get Inter across the line. Now, we didn't get the win. And a lot of us are celebrating like it was a win. Then again, imagine being a Juve supporter and, watching Maccabi run right over us. Look, a lot of us are celebrating like it's a win. And to the outsider who aren't Inter fans, who may be in this chat, they're like, well, it's 3-3 against Barcelona. You drew. It's what it means to be going into the next stage of the Champions League. That's what it means. As an Inter fan, we have been so deprived of success European, albeit Europa League final. And then Barella's silly red that missed out in the first leg against Liverpool, and then we beat them in the second. Right? But Inzaghi did not put a foot wrong today. He changed the formation, but it was a reaction. He was reacting to the Barcelona change. His personnel on the pitch was perfect. Now, why isn't this being replicated in the Serie A? Well, since we've returned from international break, we've been playing every 4 days or so. He can't afford to have these players on the pitch every 4 days when you've got the likes of Barcelona breathing down your neck in the Champions League, the likes of Bayern Munich breathing down your neck in the Champions League. Right? So he's had to rotate. And look, we got the result, not against Roma, but we got the result against the Swallow. Maybe we'll get the result against Salerno. It will be interesting, but Inzaghi did everything right this game. Now, it's this comment here. I like the mentality. We're not a Fiorentina or a Sevilla. Inter's a big team. We shouldn't be happy with a draw. Right? And we shouldn't. We should have taken the lead when Dzeko hit the post in the first half. We should have taken the lead right at the death, but Aslani went for glory. Right? But I'm not happy because we got the draw. I'm happy what the draw means for us. I'm happy that the draw means our fate is in our hands. The fate is in our hands. No future. We haven't qualified. We're Inter. Remember that. We haven't qualified. We're not jinxing it. And we've got to be realistic here because Victoria Pleasant isn't going to come to the San Siro and be like, oh, well, let's give it to Inter. No, it's not going to happen like that. They're not going to do that. This team wants to pull something out of the Champions League. They're not happy with that. We're happy because what the draw means. Our Champions League fate is in our own hands. Right? Our Champions League fate's in our own hands. 4 points against Barcelona is a fantastic result. Don't get me wrong, across 2 games. Now, Mighty Mouse, nail on the head. They scored 2 against Bayern, so they will fight 100%. Let's not be negative. If I told you a month ago, yes, exactly, I would have signed up on the spot. Debbie, celebrating that Inter didn't lose, celebrating the fight back. It's not happy with the draw. It's the draw significance. Exactly what I'm saying. The significance of the draw is the celebration at hand. But we didn't win the game, and we made some silly mistakes on that pitch that cost us. Julio Cesar came out and said, with 9 minutes to go, you're up. Why are you losing? Why are you drawing? Why are you celebrating like you won? That's the winner's mentality. Now, at the same time, he was also loving the fact that Inter is 1 game away from Champions League qualification. Right? So we're celebrating the significance of the draw. We're celebrating getting points at the Camp Nou against this illegal Barcelona team. Right? But Inzaghi's got to... we can't run on this high. He's got to take a step back and drill the team. Say, look, we got point. Fantastic. Where was the win? Do we celebrate a draw against, Torino? No, we don't. We made mistakes. And that's what I'm worried about. Inter's mentality now, a draw, we're happy. Let's go. Let's push. Especially going back to the league with confidence, knowing we didn't lose home and away to Barca. Yeah, exactly. And hopefully that confidence continues. But I do feel Inzaghi needs to play it smart. He needs to put the right players on the pitch. I like the rotation that Acerbi offers into our backline. I like the rotation that Damian, Gossens, Bellanova can bring to the field. Unfortunately, up front, we've got limited rotation with the formation that we play. Bellanova in for Hakan, Barella to, rest up a bit, potentially. Aslani to come in. We need to see something, because I'm worried that this is going to hurt us. Now, out of the 4 Italian teams in the Champions League, Inter and Napoli today were victorious, whereas Milan and Juventus lost yesterday. So the momentum's with us. Lua is just too good. That header was ridiculous. But at the same time, how was he in that position? You knew he was going to get a header, right? I've celebrated, but let's be realistic now. Because if this was a Champions League final, imagine being up 2-1 and then it's 2-2, up 3-2 and then it's 3-3. As a fan, how would you feel, let alone a team? When Lewis scored right after everyone got on the pitch after Gossen's goal, it was, I think everyone got on the pitch. 1, you're up 3-2 against Barcelona at the Camp Nou. But 2, all right, we can't concede 2. That's what was going through Inter's head. I'm just imagining Lukaku at one of those Onana long balls. Look, Lukaku at the end of that would have been phenomenal, but Martinez did wonders. And I just don't think we'll come up against opposition who played the way Barcelona played. I feel like they went into the fixture and they had the game won, in their opinion. Simple as that. Dino Allegri contributing to the downfall of Juve. Look, Allegri is a big factor. And I'm not going to talk about Juve too much. Allegri is a big factor. But let's take a step back and look at their Nedved and Agnelli, because, Nedved and Agnelli, it's similar to the reasons with Inter. Inzaghi is a factor, but at the same time, it's higher up. These problems haven't been there for Juventus just since Allegri came. Just remember. So, we have been gracious enough. Oh, wow. We have 21 people still here. We have been gracious enough to be... so the table is Bayern Munich 12, Inter 7, Barcelona 4, and Victoria 0. Sorry. I was looking at minus 13. They're minus 13 goals. So we're 3 points ahead of Barcelona. A win will guarantee Champions League round of 16 qualification. But then the rest depends on how we go against. If we get anything less than a win against Victoria, well, we don't deserve to be in the Champions League round of 16. That's for sure. Let's celebrate, because we are this close. But we're not there yet. And the Inter players know that as well. So let's celebrate this, right? And at the same time, let's do this ASAP. Let's beat this Victoria team. Then the Scudetto's our main focus. Let's not even field the team for the Bayern Munich game, right? Where's the Barca Bayern game going to be played? Future Hendrix match. It's at the Camp Nou. But Barcelona, between now and then, have Real Madrid, Villarreal, and Athletic Bilbao. They're not resting anyone. So, where's the Barca Bayern game being played? Huyen away. What's Simone's red mean? He won't be on the sidelines against Victoria. You'd think he'd be able to do something from the stands anyway. It doesn't matter. Barca can't win against Bayern. Look, if Bayern's taught me anything this season, they are beatable. They're a different beast when it comes to Champions League, but they are beatable. Barcelona showed that they were beatable in the first fixture, and Bayern just stole that. Right? So, Bayern match, we're away. First place is up for grabs. We should go for it against Bayern. Yeah, first place is up for grabs, but let's be realistic. Let's qualify first. Hey, we beat Liverpool FC, right? Look, when we did, it was such a accolade to beat Liverpool FC. They're 10th in the Premier League, and they play Manchester City this week. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, should we be really celebrating it? But look, how long? We've been going for 40 minutes. Wow. Look, guys, I can't hang around for too much longer, but yes, it was a fantastic result. We could have done better. We could have done better. And there there is so much more to be said about this. But you can't say it until you watch the game another 2, 3, 4 times. Because it's one of those things where you're so high on emotion that you're celebrating the draw, you're celebrating what it means to qualify, you're celebrating getting a point at the Camp Nou. But there are things that can be tweaked, and I'm sure Inzaghi will tell them how to do it. We face Salernitana in the early game Sunday, which is lunchtime in Europe Sunday, which will be interesting. So from this point on, guys, I'd like to say thank you. I appreciate you all, and we will catch you guys soon. Forza Inter worldwide. Ciao.